Looking back over the Thanksgiving weekend, a lot was going on, of course, in the sports world. We talked about it a little bit today. This incredible Auburn-Alabama finish, #1 versus #4. And for the rest of you across the country, it's almost like, the door was open for all of you to look in to what goes on in this state involving this rivalry. And everybody, this is one of those, and there's been several of them over the years. This may be, a lot of people think, maybe the biggest one of them all, but there's been some great ones. And
a lot of people are calling it the greatest finish of any sporting event ever.
Well, now we got to be careful.
And that's not by locals.
Why do we?
That's some of the national
got to take
media.
stuff and just.
Right. Well, that's the
We've been
the
playing
culture.
sports a long time.
Yeah, that's the culture we now live in, and that's fine. But let's just at least talk about it. Was an incredible finish, and
it'll go down in the Iron Bowl with the block punts and all that. It'll be one of the Van Tiffin. Yeah, let's just keep it there.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to pretend like that in the 70s, Auburn blocking 2 punts in a row and scoring on both of them was not.
That's pretty bizarre. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty bizarre. But anyway,
they showed that on the big screen several times during the game. By the way,
but anyway,
catch your time out. Here comes Langner again.
But Greg, it's almost like you didn't want to. It's almost like you didn't want to tell us.
I did,
because this is one of those I remember where I was deals, especially in this state. And
let's don't forget, the entire game was really good.
Yeah.
1-4, and it lived up to it.
I
watched.
Yeah, that doesn't always happen, But
I watched
really
the first
was.
half. I don't miss a play, and it's just a great game. And we go to halftime, and you always got that one commode in your house that you're always dealing with that just gives you a problem.
My gosh.
So I had one. It was halftime. I said, I got to go check on that commode. It's supposed to clogged up, whatever, upstairs. So I go up there and I hit the handle real quick to make sure it's really clogged. You know how you do? Well, it is. Well, I run out because I'm trying to hurry, and I'm looking for my plunger. I'm looking for my plunger. Well, that one's bad about the flapper hanging on it.
Oh, not
well, the flapper hung,
hanging.
which means the water's still running. Okay, this is upstairs. It's halftime. I've just watched an outstanding half of football. Fired up. I'm in the garage. All of a sudden, here comes Lisa screaming. Water is coming through the light fixture.
What? You're in the Iron Bowl?
Yes, I flooded the bathroom upstairs.
What?
And it's running down through the smoke alarm.
No!
And my first thought was, this is bad, but now I'm screwing my ball game up. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Then so I'm sopping up. It was a mess. I'm ripping up carpet, trying to hurry too. By the way.
Of course you're trying to hurry.
And then I get caught. Then because first of all, she was happy about it.
Yeah.
I said I did it. Then I get in trouble because I'm watching the Iron Bowl instead of cleaning up. Get screamed at for that because I snuck back off in between mopping, trying to get a look, see what was happening. Got screamed at for that. So didn't know it though. I turned the TV on upstairs though, so I could run to it and then go back to the bathroom. So I didn't really know. No, guys, you know how water. This ain't good. It was dripping in the closet through the light fixture.
Look at that.
It was bad. But anyway, so I survived that. And you kind of ruined my game. I saw. Okay, I missed the first drive of the second half when Auburn scored. Didn't know how that happened.
Please tell me you TiVo'd this or DVR'd it.
I don't know. Anyway, so
Greg.
I get through it and I'm fine. So I'm watching and I get to see most of it. I see the big 99-yard touchdown pass. Everything's calming down. Well, see, I'm going to watch Jacksonville State and Samford in the first round of the FCS playoffs.
A real playoff.
A real playoff that you actually play for. And by the way, Jacksonville State destroyed.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Just spanked Samford like it was no
And
tomorrow.
I thought it'd be a close game. Everybody did. But they just killed it.
55-7.
Yeah, and just a massacre. But anyway, so I'm going to leave to go to the game anyway. Okay, I'm going to leave. I knew that I was going to listen to the end of the Auburn-Alabama game on my way to the Jack State game. Okay, so I get there and I hear Auburn drive down and score and tie it up. Well, Alabama gets it. They run it, yelled it, and they say, well, we're going to overtime. That's what they say. And we go to commercial. I look at Lisa. I said, well, I ain't going to sit out here and wait on overtime, miss the start of the game. Because you know how overtime, we got to flip a coin.
You didn't know about the second one.
We got to flip a coin. We got to do this. So I get out of the car. If I'd have just waited 1 minute, I never hear them put the second back on the clock. I never hear that. I'm walking in the stadium. I see people in there going nuts. And I'm going, what? I said, there's no way overtime's even started yet. Missed the entire thing.
Greg Burgess.
Greg.
So when you walk in the stadium, who is the first person you see, and what do they tell you? And
I hear two strangers over there. Somebody's yelling, "Hey, the Auburn won!" and they're carrying them. I'm going, "There ain't no way. There's no way they started overtime, and they ain't no way they've had two possessions yet." And then I start getting text.
How long did it take you to put it all together?
Well, then I start getting text, and then I'm like, and my nephew, I'm like, what happened? There's no way. And he said, and he told me. I said, well, that explains it. I said, well, evidently they put a second back on the clock. So I missed it. How about that?
You missed the whole thing.
Yeah.
Greg,
And I missed
you
most of the
missed
second half while sopping up water.
Greg, I could not believe that.
Come on,
Isn't that
man.
terrible?
What is wrong with you?
But the Gamecocks looked good, so I went in that game.
Well,
at least it was they just
They
scored.
did, man.
Can I say
watched
something
it.
too?
It's a good night.
Was there a side of you're thinking big matchup, two schools that have been rivals, playoffs, conference champion versus an at-large bid?
Yeah.
Hey, big game, and then you realize it's 55-7. You really probably could have stayed and listened to it and not missed a whole lot.
Yeah, especially when it was 38-0 at halftime.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. You're right. We were very surprised. Now Jasper was going to play in the second round. They got to go to Lake Charles and play McNeese State next Saturday. So that'll
they're
be fun,
serious.
and that's exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, the greatest Iron Bowl ever. And I was content with missing overtime. I said, look, if it's overtime, I'm not going to sit out here and then rush in.
But you could.
I'll find out who won. But I didn't just miss. I missed one of the most miraculous endings in the history of the Iron Bowl.
That's right.
If I'd have waited just
1
a minute,
second.
just a commercial break.
just a commercial break. Come because they said, well, we're going to overtime. I said, I ain't sitting out here doing it because you know how overtime drags.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to pick what side we want to go on. We got to do all that. And I said, I ain't doing that.
What is so funny when I start getting text messages, and I know you're the same way, from Los Angeles,
Oh, yeah.
from Hawaii,
Oh, yeah.
from people traveling in Europe that's watching, and they go, hey, we see your face behind Desmond Howard. We see your head behind Charles Barkley. That is too funny.
Well, so that was creative. It got you past security. It got us on prominently.
Now, did the head come up out of the
Yes,
jersey?
yeah,
out of the
I
jersey?
saw it
Oh,
happen.
Yeah, Greg saw it happen.
That's
You had
that's
two
unbelievable.
jerseys, and all of a sudden,
That's
here come
before-
the heads.
that's
up out of
before
the
Greg-
jersey.
How did they engineer the heads to come out of it?
Two
That's
different
great.
sticks.
Two different
sticks.
sticks. Two different sticks.
Really?
was
No,
awesome.
That was-
I'm going to tell you, that's talent.
That's before Greg flooded his house.
Yeah, I was
I
actually
will
happy
hear
at
them.
that
Yeah,
point.
you got to see game day, just not the game. So then the other was we have an intern that is now the face of this historic game,
Dude, the agony of defeat.
the agony of defeat, and that is look there he is. Look, I'm watching the game at home. All right, I'm watching the game at home. Okay,
Poor Red X.
and we got our wings like we like it. We got all of our snacks. We got all this going on. We got deer. We got summer sausage on crackers. And all of a sudden, you want me to bring some of that in? By the way, I've got some rolls.
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah, Rick.
But
Kind of
anyway,
love, if you will.
yeah. So anyway, so the room is going absolute bananas over what we've just seen. Okay, and all of a sudden, the first shot they show of an Alabama fan's response to this way the game ended was one of our former interns, Red X.
He was just
I
here.
look
When
on
was
my
he here,
big,
Rick?
big
He was
on-
here Wednesday.
Wednesday,
Yeah.
on my big
Wednesday.
screen. I'm looking at Red X's face. I said, "My gosh, that's one of our interns on the broadcast."
And Rick, to add to my confusion, when I didn't know what happened, when I see the game's over and I know it hadn't been overtime yet, I start getting texts from y'all with Red X on them. I open and there's Red X doing this, and it shows the score, and I go, "What in the crap?"
Former
happened?
intern Red X is now known for this historic game as the agony of defeat. That's weird,
That is
So-
so
He's
bizarre.
got that look on his face like, "Can you return a kick like that?
right? And
Is that legal?"
Yeah, I can't believe that just happened.
all right,
what he's saying.
another weird thing from the weekend, and there's so many. Another weird thing from the weekend is at the Egg Bowl, Ole Miss versus Mississippi State.
Great game, brother.
Bully the mascot is hit by an ESPN cart and gets carted with a compound fracture and never comes out of character.
Yeah, never.
My
This
gosh,
happens.
I've got a compound fracture. Take the head off.
Well, you know, it's so cold. It's probably warmer in there. But,
but you gotta
yeah. Now, one thing I got to give it to the female that was inside the
You
mascot.
see that, you think Ole Miss just won.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
And of course they didn't. But I'm sitting here and I'm watching this, and you've got the ESPN TV cart that rolls up and down the sidelines. I'm surprised more people don't get
Because
hit.
they fly, but
I
Well,
get,
they
make a
yeah,
move,
boy.
they
There's
fly.
supposed to be a get back person, but I don't know what happened.
I
there.
looked up
watching
and
the
I
game.
said the biggest dog I've ever seen is got hit by a car.
Yeah,
Because-
I mean,
What is the irony?
and
of
so
that?
where I'm
How
sitting,
odd is that, man?
what I'm sitting, we don't know it's bully. Somebody behind me starts saying,
was?
"Hey, somebody just got hit
Hey,
by the ESPN
Hey,
TV."
How
cart.
many giant dogs are they on the sideline?
But no,
Good
you
voice
can't.
you got.
But Bubba, you can't.
What's happened to your
Y'all
voice?
just saw a crowd around. And y'all
Yeah,
know
you
who-
can't see from where we are. You can't see who's laying there. You just see medical personnel trying to take care of somebody.
Right.
We
And
got
And then,
a
all,
man
and,
down.
then all of a sudden, here comes a stretcher
Y'all
being
can't tell
wheeled.
that's a giant dog?
Bubba, from where we're sitting, we're not in the box seat.
That shot of him on the stretcher.
Now, it wasn't
it's a
until
her, Rick. It's a her.
I think at this point they could take the head off the mascot.
I do, too.
When you're on a Rick, I think I heard it talk.
I can't believe the commitment to the integrity of the mascot.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable dedication.
Right. Give it to Lee Corso or something. So
When
speaking of
Bully-
Bizarre, by the way. I know he can't help it.
I knew that was a problem.
Please tell me your first sight of when you noticed it was the
It's
bully.
not funny.
Well, that's
It's
what I was
not
trying to
funny,
say is
but
that
it
I didn't know until they're on the bully's on the stretcher with an air cast over his pawed leg.
Y'all start screaming, it's bully.
Now look, they've got the air cast over the mascot, over the
the
hair.
person. Let's don't
you mean
forget.
there's a hairy
It's really
dog
not a
leg?
cartoon
There's a
dog.
hairy dog leg in the air cast. And little did we know it was a compound fracture. Now Thursday night,
It's awful, but I mean,
the
be a
female,
compound
it is. It's
that
two
bad.
surgeries already.
Oh wow.
And
Yeah,
wait a
Thursday
minute.
night and Friday.
It's that bad a break, and I still kept the head on. That
Yeah,
don't even make
and
any
look,
sense.
here's what's so
I mean,
I
that's
say
mascot
funny now.
Hall of Fame
so
right there.
so Bully is being carted out, and look, and here's the mascot on the way going.
on the
Still doing the
Yes, it's a complete mascot
Was
character.
that real
That-
pain?
They
or
ought to
was she
get a
good?
mascot trophy because she stayed in character
Still
the
being
entire
animated,
time.
doing that famous mascot move when they
Yeah,
go.
yeah, animated like has the hands over the paws. I mean, over the mouth.
Wait a
and
minute.
everything.
Look, if I've got a compound fracture, get me out of this bulldog suit.
Rick, the worst part.
Do we know?
Party,
My
what happened?
bone is sticking out. Take the head off so I can breathe.
So
I'm not a real dog. Please don't have me put down.